Only war.
What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. Today we're going to be going over one of the most crucial things in this entire game of 40k, especially in 10th edition. I know this is a little bit later in 10th edition, but we've been playing it and practicing it so much this year by placing #1 in the United States on ranked on ITC. We were the #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world, so we had a huge year in 2025. I wouldn't have done it without my Patreons and my coaches at the Dirtbag Nation. This was such a great year. So this video, if you guys have clicked on the, obviously the video, it's gonna be going over the battle tactics for fight phase. We're gonna be going over the charges, the pile-in, and consolidate, mainly because a lot of people play it wrong. Even myself, up until the last couple months, everybody plays it differently. So we're gonna be going over the correct way and the right way, so that way you guys can share it and bring it to your community, so that way everybody's playing the right way in 40K. So this video, we're gonna go over step by step, turn by turn, everything you need to know about the fight phase. And if you guys are Patreons, we'll be throwing some extra perks at the end for the Patreons. But guys, let's get into the video. What's up, gents? If you want to support the channel, the best way to support us is to click on any of these links in the descriptions, as well as on the main page. We have our 3d6 Wargaming, the objective markers, we have the Rexar Lasers Terrain. Use the code DIRTBAG for free shipping, and also the Patreon page, that'll be at the end of the video, but the merch store is the news store. If you guys want to support and wear some of the swag at the RCTs and GTs coming up, make sure you come up to me and say, hey, check out this swag, because I will love it. We have a bunch of Orc swag, a bunch of 40k swag, but mainly we got the Dirtbag swag. This tumbler, legit, use it every single day. Coffee and water, and then these hoodies are so comfortable. I would recommend getting a size up just so they're comfortable on you, as well as with the t-shirts and any of the muscle tees. Not only can you support us at the merch store, but you can also support us on Discord by messaging me specifically, DM. We sell poker chips, which are great for objective markers, naming specific units that have buffs or debuffs, and sticky objectives. We use them every single game. All of the stickers are available, as you see over here. And then all these models, we have Cypher, which is in every single list. We have our Tech Priests for Grey Knights and any Space Marines. They're really hard to get. We have the Phobos Librarian, the Phobos Lieutenant with the combi weapon. Caldus Assassin should still be in every single list, and the old school Cotiez mop. But guys, let's get back to the video. Okay guys, we're gonna keep it as simple as possible. We're gonna go over tactics about how to charge, pile in, and consolidate, how the rules actually work. Again, this video is gonna be as simple as I possibly can, so we can make this as shareable with everybody playing 10th edition in 40k. So in this example, we have a unit of Death Shroud Terminators, which is going to be seen a ton, especially with the Codex coming up. We have the Sorcerer, we have a unit of Poxwalkers, and we have a unit of Chaos Space Marines over here that are going to be used as our charge target. We're going to be switching it up different scenarios throughout the video, but this one we're going to try and keep it as simple as possible. So we have our widgets, whatever we need. We have our tape measure. We have our 3-inch widget, 1-inch widget, 2-inch widget. This is sold through merch store or over at Discord. So these are used in every single game, and we have our dice. So for example, guys, we're gonna start off with the charge, the pile-in, and consolidate, just the basic rule of how it actually works. Now, when this unit right here, 10-man unit, is going to try to charge into the Terminators, which is probably a suicide mission, but again, we're not here to judge that. These guys are within, now this is how we're basically measuring, this is kind of a different video, but we are within, we're going to try to make it as level as possible, within 9 inches. Now, meaning that we're within 9 inches, you have to end within engagement range to successfully make that charge, which is 1 inch. So if I go 8 inches, which is within 1 inch, I would have to roll an 8 on the dice. So if we roll 2 dice, and look at that, we got a 10 Dirtbag dice, $1 each, limited time available. These guys right here are going to be charging 10 inches to these Death Terminators. Now, how the charge rule is, if you can get base to base, you must get base to base. There are ways to block out charging base to base, which we'll go over in a little bit. But in this one, when these guys charge in, they go 10 inches. Now, scenarios change where if you want to go on to objective, you don't want to get within 4 inches of this squad over here. You want to kind of pile backwards, whatever it may be. There's a bunch to go over in this phase. But 10 inches for the charge phase, you would be moving 10 inches up. So I'm going to be getting, now my heavy weapons are kind of in the back here. So I want this guy to go full 10 inches, which won't get him to base to base. So he'll be able to pile in really anywhere he wants. So we're going to move this guy 10 inches up. He's going to go all the way up to here. Now this guy, who is a gun guy, he's not really going to kill anything in combat. So I really don't care about him getting into combat. I really want my heavy hitters to get into combat. So this guy's definitely wholly within 10 inches, so he's going to go base to base. These other guys who have weapons can go base to base. This guy cannot go base to base because he's too far, but he's going to go full 10 inches up because he wants to pile in 3 inches to get into combat. This guy's going to go 10 inches up. This guy can get base to base over to here, so he's going to go base to base over here. The other weapon guy doesn't really matter. He's going to try and go back here on the objective. Now again, he can't go base to base anywhere. So you can basically move him closer towards this enemy unit. As long as he ends closer towards the charged target, that's a successful charge. You only have to get within base to base if you can, but at least the unit ended in coherency, or in the charge unit, the unit is about to end in coherency like this. That is a successful charge. Okay, we'll go over different tips on other stuff that you can be doing with that, but mainly we're going to be doing the pile in and consolidate. So now, since this guy, and this guy are all base to base, how you get second rank in 10th edition is you have to pile in and be base to base of another model base to base to get their attacks. So everybody gets to move up 3 inches, which is what this widget is for. This guy over here, who is a power fist or power weapon, he's going to be moving up 3 inches, which he can also get base to base with this guy. That extends my base to base range out this way. This guy can go up 3 inches. I'm going to put him closer more towards the unit. He's going to go this way base to base. This guy's going to go as far as he can 3 inches over here to go base to base. This guy is going to go base to base over here. Now he's just barely within 3 inches of this guy base to base, so he's going to go up here. And this guy was a little bit closer, who can end base to base with this guy. Boom. Now all my melee dudes in base to base, the guy that has a gun, I don't really care about. He would kind of attack, but he's just going to scooch up right there. He can't get really anywhere that he wants. You don't have to move if you don't want to, as long as he's within coherency, which now he would be. That's a successful pile-in. You cannot pile in a unit if you can't get in coherency or into a unit that is engagement range. So let's say this unit charged and died to another charging unit. If there's nobody around you, you can't pile in, which we'll go over in a little bit. But there's our successful pile-in. Everybody moved up to 3 inches to get base to base with another model in combat that was already base to base with the enemy unit. Now this unit gets to attack. Once this whole unit attacks, the Death Guard player can choose where the wounds go. If he wants to take the guys off back here, now that these guys who are already base to base, it now becomes the consolidate phase, which you can then pile in or consolidate 3 more inches towards the closest enemy unit. And if you can get base to base, you have to if you choose to pile in that model. This guy I'm choosing to pile in. He then is going to move up 3 inches and get closer base to the closest enemy model, which would be that guy. So he was behind here. Now he moved up closer to get closer to this guy, but also base to this guy. This guy is going to do the same thing. He's going to go full 3 inches and get base to base with this guy. This guy can't really go anywhere. He's about an inch or so away. He can tuck in a little bit closer to be closer to that guy if he wants. And this guy has to stay in coherency just about there. Now everybody who is already base to base can't move. Once you're base to base, you cannot move. This guy can kind of do the same thing. He'll get a little bit closer into there, staying on the point. And that is a successful consolidate move. So that is the standard pile in, consolidate, or charge, pile in, and consolidate on a basic example. Okay guys, here is one of the examples of a counter charge when it comes to piling and consolidating. So let's say we have our 10-man break over here. We kind of reduce the Death Shroud because if I were to charge into a 6-man Death Shroud, I'd probably die. But again, that's a different video. These guys want to kill these dudes because I want to get them off the point. But I'm going to use these guys as a closer charge target. So for example, if these guys were, let's say, I don't know, right here, but this charge was a little bit further over here, I don't want to try and declare them as a target because they're really far. I would have to roll, it looks like a 7. Yeah, I'd have to roll a 7 to successfully make that charge over there. Now, if you get +2 charge, whatever it may be, you might want to take that risk. But I'm going to try and do the slingshot by making my guys charge here, ending here, and then piling in to attack this unit, and let's go over that. So, for example, these guys are going to charge these guys as a target, which I would only need a 3. I rolled a 9, so that might kind of screw us. But let's say we get a 9-inch, right? So I'm going to charge this guy who has a weapon over to here. That's going to be my first charge. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to block out base-to-base contact with these 3 Destral, because if I can block out base-to-base, the other guys can really go anywhere they want. So my other big weapon, or my other crappy weapon, is going to go over here. He's going to try and block out this right here. Now this big base can't fit in between these 2 bases right here. His base is too big to get in there to get this guy base-to-base. So my other option is I'm going to go over here. He's going to charge up to here, and again, do that same thing where his base is too big to fit base-to-base with this guy, so he can't fit right there to get base-to-base. So he's got to go 9 inches over to here, which would be there. Block out base-to-base with all of these guys, and now over here, all I have left is really one more guy that can get base-to-base. So I'm going to put this guy right here, who's technically the middle. He's going to go over to here, which now is base-to-base with everybody. Now everybody else can't go 9 inches and get base-to-base with one of these Terminator models. They just can't physically put their model base-to-base with anybody else. So how you do this measurement is you measure the closest guy. He's about 5 inches away. As long as this guy ends within 5 inches or less of this closest model to that unit, it's a successful charge. So here we go. I'm going to move 5 inches over to here, or 9, and I'm going to end a little bit less than 5 inches than this unit. Now again, this is what the pros do. So you guys, if you master this skill of the charge phase, you'll master what the pros are mastering. So now I ended closer, not to the closest model, but to the unit within 5 inches of that unit, which is a successful charge. All right, started here, went 9 inches, ended there, closer than 5 inches of that unit. Okay, now keep in mind you have to stay in coherency, but the other guy's gonna do the same thing. He's within 5 inches. I'm going to do the same thing. Go right over there, and within 5 inches. This guy's going to do the same thing. And then this one lonely guy, who could technically be this dude, because he can replace him, melee weapon. This guy that I don't really care about getting into combat is a last cannon. The last cannon's going to charge, keep the unit in coherency, like this, right? Ended closer. He's within 2 inches of this guy. Has to stay within 2 inches of 2 models, within 2 inches of this guy, so it only has to be this guy. He's going to end his charge right there. That's a successful charge because he's now closer than 4 inches. He's about 3.5. That's a successful charge. That's going to allow these 3 guys to charge into these poxwalkers. And if you have a ton of attacks, like 4 or 5 with sustained, lethal, whatever they have, they're now going to be able to pile into another unit. A lot of new players, if they played in 9th edition, they always think that you can't charge or attack a unit that you didn't charge. That was a 9th edition rule. Get that out of your mind. If you heard that anywhere, it's a lie. 10th edition, you do not have to only fight the unit that you charged. So now with the pile-in step, these guys are all base-to-base. They can't really pile in. These guys are going to choose to pile into the closest enemy unit, which is this unit, and they're going to pile in base-to-base. So this guy is going to pile in 3 inches to stay in coherency of this guy, 2 inches, right? This guy is going to pile in 3 inches and stay in coherency. And this guy is going to pile in and stay in coherency. So now this guy is within 2 inches of both of these guys. This guy is within 2 inches of both of these guys. This guy is same thing. So now I'm going to have 3 guys attacking these Poxwalker units to almost kill probably all of them. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys to do a ton of damage to these Death Shroud units because I have some heavy weapons over here. And then this guy is going to stay still and keep these 2 units, or 1 unit, in coherency, being within 2 inches of both of them. So let's zoom in for you guys so you guys can see. This is what I mean. So if you guys can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm actually 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm actually missing a guy. Let's pretend he died. So these guys are now in a successful charge and pile-in step. After they're done fighting, let's say we killed the Death Shroud. Terminators are now all dead. The Sorcerer is, let's say, alive. These Poxwalkers just get munched. So we kill all of the Poxwalkers. So now, with the Consolidate, the only way you can consolidate is if you're near a enemy unit and ending engagement range. For example, if this guy is within 4 inches of my guy, so that's 3 inches and then the extra inch. If there's a unit there, I can pile into them because it's within 1 inch. If there's no unit there, let's say this guy's not here, I can go 3 inches towards an objective and land on an objective. But in this scenario, I can only pile in towards the closest enemy unit, which is this guy. Or if there was a dude here, this guy would technically be closer, right? So he's about 7 inches away. He's about 3.5 inches away. So I would have to pile in or consolidate closer 3 inches towards this guy to get in coherency or in engagement range. Same thing with this guy to stay in coherency. Same thing with this guy to stay in coherency. So now these guys are all in coherency. And then these guys can pile in base to base here. This guy can pile in base to base here. And then you can choose this guy to not pile in or consolidate. It's model by model bases, which is a new thing that we learned. So this guy does not have to choose to pile in, the one on the objective. He can choose to stay there and move up to 0 inches and stay on the objective to try and hold that objective. This one over here stole this objective down here because he's now on the objective with this one obsec Poxwalker. And then these guys are keeping this guy surrounded in combat base to base. So if he were to fall back, he'd have to take a desperate escape. Again, another video. But that is an example of charging 2 different units, getting the pile-ins and consolidates towards the closest enemy unit. Okay, guys. Here's another example of the Death Guard now charging the Chaos Space Marines. We have a unit of Legionnaires. We have a Demon Prince right here. We have a unit of Poxwalkers and a unit of Destral with the Sorcerer. I want to either stop a fight first unit, a really scary melee unit, a really scary threat over there, or just get more guys into combat over there. So here's an example. If this guy is pretty far back, we're going to try and do the same thing where I want to slingshot my Terminators into this Demon Prince to try and kill the Demon Prince. But this is really close compared to that. So I want to use my Poxwalkers to try and block out charges for my Death Shroud so I can get more Death Shroud into the Demon Prince. So this is going to be our charge. We're going to start with the Poxwalkers. Now this goes for either fight. We'll do fight first next. So we're going to try and charge here to block off our charges. They roll a 6. So we're going to put these guys as close as we possibly can, leaving a little bit of a gap. So these guys can get within 1 inch, but not base to base. Everything else is going to technically block off base to base for the Death Shroud, so that it's going to have a harder time for them to get into combat, forcing them to be base to base. So we're going to put all these guys on the objectives to try and pile in. We're going to go 6 inches this way, 6 inches this way. Boom, there you go. Now these guys technically blocked off these Death Shroud from being able to go base to base over here. Now the Death Shroud are going to try and charge these guys as their charge target, but really they want to swing slingshot, like a shake and bake, Ricky Bobby, all the way over to the Demon Prince over there. Now that charge would have had to been an 8, 7 or 8 to get all the way there. I don't want to chance that. I want to chance a 5 inch, 4 inch, almost successful charge getting into those guys. So we're going to try and roll. Look at that, we got a 9. So here goes our plan. Now the back guy, who's our sorcerer, or really, can anybody get base to base? Yes, one guy can technically get base to base unless I block him off. So I'm gonna measure this back guy, who is the back of his base, is going to land right there, okay? So now if you look at this, he's not base to base with this model right here. He's about a ½ inch away, but that is a successful charge. So now we're going to start moving all of these guys fully 9 inches, almost like a diagonal, because again, I'm going to measure from the closest unit that I'm charging, which is 8 inches. So as long as I end 8 inches or less to this charging unit, it's a successful charge. This guy's going to go his 9 all the way out to here, right? I'm then going to measure my charge, which I'm now well within 5 inches. But you can see what I'm doing is I'm going to plan on slingshotting or piling this guy into the Demon Prince to get a lot of attacks on the Demon Prince. We're going to do the same thing with all of these guys. This guy's going to go 9 all the way out to here. This guy's going to go 9 all the way out to here. And again, the only reason I'm able to do this is because I can't go base to base with any of these guys. I blocked off base to base here, blocked off all of that. This guy blocked off being able to go base to base with either of these two. So all of these guys are going 9 inches technically straight towards the Demon Prince, so that way I can get as many guys as I possibly can into the Demon Prince. Now this back guy is probably not going to be able to get to the Demon Prince. So he's going to move up as close as he can to try and help out clear this unit. And then the back base of my Sorcerer is going to land right where this guy is. Boom. Now that is a successful charge for the Terminators. And now we're going to go into the pile-in step. So I'm going to choose to attack with the Death Guard. Now, he can choose to countercharge if he wanted to. He's probably not going to because he really doesn't want me to attack them anyway. But we're going to pile in. So this guy can end base to base with an enemy unit. So this guy is going to end. He's closer. He's about even to both these guys. He's going to end closer base to base to this guy. Okay, now you see what I did there? He's about the same distance from this guy, but he ended base to base with this guy. Now this guy is going to go base to base with this guy who's in combat with now both the Demon Prince and this unit. So either one of these can choose to attack this unit or the Demon Prince. And all of these guys are going to end closer to the Demon Prince to attack the Demon Prince. 3 inches up to there. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Okay, so this guy is going to go full 3 inches to end base to base. This guy is going to go 3 inches to end base to base. This guy is going to go 3 inches to end base to base. Now look at that. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Terminators into this unit that I didn't charge. The Sorcerer is into this unit that I didn't charge, and or this one. Now this is the tricky one. So this guy is the closest enemy model, this Space Marine. I have to end closer to the closest model when it comes to piling in. So I have to pile in this way, kind of diagonal, which takes me a little bit closer to this guy. So now I have an option that I can only attack this unit with this one guy who was all the way in the back here. So how I'm going to allocate these attacks is I'm going to basically put as many as I possibly can onto this guy. The Sorcerer will attack this unit, and this guy will attack that unit as well. So basically, these 2 guys are going into this unit, and these 5 guys who, if you have any strats or whatever, they can attack the Demon Prince. So here comes the attacks. All of these guys wipe out the Demon Prince pretty easily. Hitting on 2s, winning on 3s with rerolls. These 2 guys are going to attack this unit, and they pretty much wipe out the entire unit as well. AP2, 2 damage. A bunch of attacks with maybe some rerolls and -1 toughness. So hitting on 2s, winning on 2s, they wipe out this unit. So now everything that I charged with these guys and these guys are now gone. So here's your couple options. If there's no units within 4 inches of this unit that just killed something, if there's no units within 4 inches, they can choose to pile in or consolidate towards the closest objective, which would be this one right in the center. So when you consolidate, you go up to 3 inches, but you have to end closer to this objective. So example, this guy right here is not touching the objective. He is going to go 3 inches basically on the other side. He can go like this. But now I'm going to end closer to the center of the objective. That is a successful consolidate, technically getting 3 inches almost on the other side of the objective going that way. So that is a successful consolidate. Now, example, if you're basically touching the center, you can consolidate touching the center, if not a little bit closer like that, like directly in the center. That's a good consolidate. If you're on this side of the objective and you consolidate on the other side of the objective, you're now closer to the center of the objective. These guys are all going to do the same thing. So this guy piled over here. These guys are going to go closer to the objective, 3 inches this way, 3 inches that way, 3 inches directly towards. Doesn't have to be directly towards. It's just you have to end closer to the objective. So all these guys are going to get back onto the objective and just camp this objective. The Poxwalkers have a couple different options. Same thing. If there's no unit within, whatever 4 inches of the Poxwalkers, like these guys, If they were a little bit out of 4 inches, like this is about 4.5 inches away, the Poxwalkers can choose, obviously they don't have to pile in towards the closest enemy unit, they can then pile back towards the objective or stay there. It's on a model by model basis. So this guy is going to pile back and try and protect the Death Shroud a little bit. So kind of surround the Death Shroud, ending closer to the objective in the center. This guy is going to pile back, pile back, pile back, pile back, pile back on the objective, pile onto the objective, and this guy is piling onto the objective, up to 3 inches. Now, these Poxwalkers are basically surrounding the Death Shroud, protecting them a little bit from the other enemy unit on the other side. So that is a successful charge into 2 different units, using a crappy screen unit to block out base to base of your charging unit, piling into another unit, killing it, and then consolidating back onto an objective. Here's an example you might see often. You might have a screen unit blocking out the charge or whatever of a bigger, tankier unit. Let's say I get a secondary that I really need to take over this unit or kill the unit on the objective. How the rules for pile and consolidate work is on a model by model basis. So we're going to take this unit of Chaos Space Marines, we're going to add some more to that just to make it a little bit easier. So all these guys are going to try and charge these Poxwalkers to again get 3 points by killing a unit on an objective, stealing an objective, and potentially kill more if you're playing any of those missions. So these guys are going to charge there. We're going to roll a 5, so we get a 5-inch charge, which we successfully make that charge onto this unit right here. So we charged up. Now, if you want to plan this out that you don't want to consolidate into this unit over here, you can start measuring where you want to put your guys and where you want to consolidate or not consolidate. So I successfully made the charge there. Again, I'm trying to kill these guys as well as get onto the point and not have to pile into that unit over there. So we're going to go into the pile in step. Pile in step, I have to end closer to the closest enemy unit, and base to base if I have to, or if I can. So this guy's going to pile in 3 inches more towards, let's try and measure if we can stay outside of 4 inches, which we can. So this guy is a little bit outside of 3.5 inches. So he's going to pile in 3 inches this way, get onto the objective. All these guys are going to do the same thing. They're going to pile in wholly within 3 inches up to here, base to base, 3 inches, base to base, 3 inches, and now all these guys are basically piling in to try and get as many as they possibly can into combat. Now this guy is going to try and stay outside of 4 inches over here. So he's going to pile in this way, base to base, and these guys are going to do the same thing. So they're going to pile in base to base because he has to, and these guys can go this way if they want. This guy has a crappy melee attack. He's going to go this way. He's going to pile in base to base this way to get there. He's going to get there. So that is the attacks. This unit can easily wipe out the Poxwalk unit. And now this is a new thing that we realized that is on a model by model basis for the Consolidate. So we're going to have to measure. If you choose to consolidate and you can get into combat with an enemy unit, you have to. But it's on a model by model basis. This is new. So we're going to choose this guy who cannot get into engager range of this guy. He's going to move 3 inches closer to the closest enemy unit, but not end within engager range because that's the full 3 inches. So he moved the full 3 inches and he's not within 1 inch. So that is a successful consolidate. This guy is going to do the same thing. He's going to pile in full 3 inches and not end or up to. He's just going to go kind of like there because he can't get within engagement range of that guy. So he's just going to kind of move up to there. This guy's going to get onto the objective, do the same thing. Now all front of these guys can basically pile in to the close enemy unit, which I don't want to do. I don't want to give these guys free attacks. So this guy is just going to stay on the objective. This guy's going to scooch up a little bit closer, and this guy's going to get on the objective over to here. Again, those guys couldn't get into combat with this unit, and it's on a model by model basis. If one of these guys could have got into combat, like let's say this guy, if he started there and can get into combat with this Death Shroud, he would have to if he moves. But if he doesn't move, he doesn't have to do it. He can just stay right where he is. If this guy chooses to move, he can't kind of just move there. He has to move into either base to base or in engager range if he can. Okay? That's the difference between the consolidate and now let's go into the pile-in. So pile-in, let's say these guys are here. we charge this unit a little bit closer to the death shroud, and the death shroud don't have CP, so they can't countercharge. Again, all this kind of like is null and void if the people can countercharge. But let's say I charged here. This guy charged here base to base. This guy's base to base. This guy's base to base. This guy's base to base. Or this guy's over here. So there you go. I made that successful charge. Now, pile in is the same way. If this guy chooses to pile in, right, he's not base to base with this guy. So he can't attack this unit because he's not base to base. He's not within 1 inch. So this guy, if he chooses to pile in, he can't go like this. He can't do that. That's illegal. He would have to go base to base to the closest enemy unit if possible, which would be these Death Shroud. So he would have to go like this. And now this whole unit's dead. So instead of doing that, this guy is just going to stay exactly where he is. This guy can pile in a little bit closer. He can't get within that unit engager range, so he's going to pile in to there. Just a little bit closer. All of these guys are already engaged in combat. This guy could technically go here, base to base. This guy can go a little bit closer, base to base. So now all these guys are in combat here. I chose not to pile in with this guy because he would have to pile into this unit and get base to base because he can. So this guy is not pile in. It's on a model by model basis. So I'm choosing to pile in all the other guys that I can without having to pile into these Death Shroud units. That was a huge difference when it came to earlier in 10th edition and now. Model by model basis is different than having to do the entire unit and stuff like that. Okay, so that's that. Let's get into consolidating. So all these guys, again, died. Let's say these guys are too far, right? They're more than 4 inches away. These guys killed the Poxwalkers on the point. Again, they're more than 4 inches away from piling in or consolidating. So you can choose to consolidate just to here to get all of you guys on the point to try and make it a little bit harder for these guys to steal it from you. But it's up to 3 inches, closer to the closest objective. Staying outside of these guys because I wasn't within 4 inches of them. And now I just put all 20 OBSEC on the point in the center. So now these guys have to try and kill them to take over the point. But that is how it comes to pile in and consolidate, and choosing not to pile in and consolidate if you don't want to. As long as you're outside of 3 or 4 inches of the enemy unit, you don't have to move. You can stay exactly where you were. All right, guys, here's another good example of using the pile in and consolidate to your advantage. So let's go over these Death Shroud charging into these guys. So these Death Shroud are already basically controlling this point. They want to really kill this unit because they failed their charge by going into me. So I really want to destroy them so that way they don't get a second chance. They're going to charge into here and try and steal this objective, or at least control it. Maybe it's sticky, whatever it may be. So we're going to use these guys to charge in here. So we're going to roll our 2 dice. We got a 5. So these guys are going to try and go 5 inches, which is base to base over to here. And these sites love to hang on to each other. So I'm going to go 5 inches over there, and this guy is going to go 5 inches. He can't get base to base with anybody, so he's going to go directly 5 inches, kind of like on a diagonal, which again ended closer to the closest enemy unit. So that is a successful charge. All of these guys are going to do the same thing. So I'm going to use this guy technically as my slingshot target because he's going to try and get, there's nobody on this point. He's going to try and either steal this point or get on this point. All of these guys are going to go 5 inches so that way they can pile in and hopefully kill this unit right here. So they're all going to go there 5 inches. They go 5 inches, 5 inches. All right. So now I'm going to pile in. So that is my charge phase. Let's go into the pile in phase. This guy is going to go base to base 3 inches up to here. And now you can see he is within 3 inches of this objective right there. So if I do wipe this unit, I can then pile in towards the closest enemy unit. If there's no enemy unit, I can go towards the closest objective, which would be this one. All of these other guys are going to try and stay in coherency, move up 3 inches, move up 3 inches, move up 3 inches, and move up 3 inches. Now, if this guy wants to get attacks, he can move in. If you're super confident about killing this unit, he can move off of the objective, and I'll show you about getting back onto the objective. But you have to be super confident with doing that. Most of the time, I'm not that confident, so I leave at least one guy on the objective. Now, technically, this is within 1 inch, right? So he is in engagement range. But if you, again, you were to pile in and you can get base to base, you have to. So maybe we'll do that a little different. He's going to pile into here to go base to base. He's going to pile in base to base of this guy, who is now base to base to base to base, but still touching the objective. Little tricks here and there. This whole unit is in coherency. They're going to make their attacks. They obliterate this legionnaire unit. They failed their charge. They deserve to die. Blood for the blood god. Okay. No other units are around this unit that are within 4 inches to consolidate. So the next option is consolidating towards the closest objective. Now, to these two guys, the closest objective is actually this one, not that one. To these 4 guys, the closest objective is that one, not this one. So we're going to pile in. We're going to consolidate. This guy is going to consolidate onto the objective to then steal this objective, because let's say there was only 1 guy here, and I can get 2 guys on the objective. So now I stole this or tied it to help with primary, to try and steal their primary. Because even tying an objective is stopping 4 or 5 points of their primary, which is huge. So even though I tie it but I don't beat them, I still stop them from scoring primary. Now we're going to pile in this way to get back on this objective, because this guy is off the objective. He's going to pile it back on towards the closest objective. And now these 3 you're going to use to stay in coherency. So this guy is going to stay in coherency within 2 inches of these 2 guys. Right? Now, you don't have to be within 2 because it's a 6-man unit, so, or 7-man unit. I think 7 goes up to, actually 7 goes up to triangle. So this one, 2 inches of 2 inches. This one, 2 inches of 2 inches. This one, 2 inches of 2 inches. Boom. So now this whole unit is in coherency. And I now stole this objective. I'm holding it with 2 models. And I'm holding this objective with 2 models. So now that is a successful charge off of my objective, using a slingshot, stealing this objective, and controlling your objective again by doing that little move. This works really well with Horde. Horde is so awesome when it comes to stealing objectives, taking over primary, stuff like that. Here's another example, a quick example, just to kind of go over the same thing. This is the 10-man body over here. So we really want to steal this objective from these guys. There's 2 guys on the objective. They're barely holding it. There's a whole row of Terminators right here. There's 2 guys here. I'm going to charge these Chaos Marines, wherever the Chaos Marines have to be. So Chaos Marines could be there. We're going to charge these guys, right, into these guys. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge. I rolled a 6. So they're going to go 6 inches going to base, right? And now I'm going to measure again. I'm 8 inches away. I'm going to go 6 inches and be less than 8 inches away going this way. Now you can see what I'm doing. I'm coming in over here. So that way when I pile in, I'm not piling in coherency, but I'm getting onto the objective. So pile in 3 inches, but outside of 4 of this guy. So 3 inches outside of 4, 3 inches outside of 4. I'm within 8 on that guy and within 9. Let's say this is the guy that charged, the back guy. So he's going to be within 9 and 8 of that guy. So these 2 successfully went from back here to here, which is now closer to the charge target. And all of these guys are just going to kind of tie up like that. So there you go. I successfully did everybody that could go base to base. Everybody else stayed in coherency. These guys are outside of 4 of this guy, but they're within 3 of this objective. So when it comes to pile in, I'm going to pile in towards the closest enemy unit, not going in coherency. So I'm going pile in, outside of 1 inch. These guys are staying in coherency. And look at that. That was a successful charge while stealing this objective that was completely on the other side of them and basically doing some attacks over here. Now these guys don't have to pile in. Like if I were to choose to pile in, I could pile in this way, still staying outside of 1 inch of this unit. But this guy can pile in to here, whatever it may be. But look, I'm staying in coherency. I stole this objective from them, and I had a successful charge. That right there, guys, is the pro plays that you'll see at major GTs. Mastering this style and this measurement, ending within coherency, ending within closer to the charge target, blocking off charge moves is going to be the best way to win the melee phase of 40k. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that video. Hopefully it taught you something new, that maybe you were doing something different, but that is the charge, pylon, and consolidate. There is a tip that wasn't posted to youtube.com, that's only on patreon.com, so head over to patreon.com, join, click the video, and there's an extra tip at the end, which wasn't on YouTube. So that's specifically for Patreon members. Thank you if you guys are Patreon members, but if you are, head over to patreon.com so you guys can go see that. If you guys want to support the channel, we are going to hopefully explode in 2025. We're already up to 12,000 subscribers. Didn't know we are going to get that big for playing 40k, but I love it. Thanks to you guys. Thanks for so much for the support. Heading out to LVO, let's see how we do there. But guys, I appreciate it. Good luck, and we'll see you in another video soon. What's up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. If you guys are thinking about joining the Patreon page, we're going to go over each tier and how it's going to benefit you and what you're looking for specifically to get out of 40k in 10th edition coming up. There's a lot of stuff to go over. There's a lot of tactical videos up on the channel, which is for free. There's going to be a bunch of perks that you get specifically for being a part of the Dirtbag Nation Patreon page. So first off, we have the first tier, which is $1 a month. You guys get first access to the videos over at patreon.com. You also get access to the Discord, which is specifically a private link in the Discord that only Patreon members can see. So you guys will have first access to that. Also a benefit is Patreons over the Dirtbag Nation get live streamed games on patreon.com streamed from YouTube, but there's only links specifically for the patreons.com. So not only do you get first access to these videos, you also get to see live stream games specifically only on patreon.com. The next tier is the Justicar. You guys get a shout out on every single video on YouTube. You also get to support us a little bit more. You get first dibs at voting on Discord, as well as you just kind of say, hey, I just want to be a Justicar Dirtbag and support you guys a little bit more than that $1 a month tier. But you get all the same access as well as the different color over on the Discord. So the third tier is the competitive Dirtbag. This tier, you get a lot more one-on-one coaching. This is a lot of the Dirtbags over on the Dirtbag Nation. They are able to send out messages one-on-one, go over list ideas, tactics, anything you guys want to talk about. When I was getting into 40k, or really any game in general, I always wanted to message the top players in the meta and just ask them questions. This $10 a month tier gets you that opportunity to message us one-on-one on Discord, so that way we can actually coach you, give you our insights, suggestions, and that's going to get you better at the 40k 10th edition as a whole. So that tier alone, just $10 a month to have one-on-one coaching, one-on-one messages anytime throughout the month, that's going to be a perfect tier for you guys. Even if you're brand new to the game, we go over 1,000-point list, 1,500-point list, 2,000-point brand new starting list, team list, anything you guys need. That's what the competitive Dirtbag tier is for. Also, you get a little bit red number name tag on Discord, so people know that you're really serious about getting into the competitive scene. The Grandmaster Dirtbags. This is the all-in-all $25 a month tier. You get one-on-one coaching, everything we said prior to this, but you guys get to see me, Mike, any of the other Dirtbags play your specific list that you want to see tested out live on one of our battle reports. You guys get to mention, suggest videos you guys want to see coming up on patreon.com. So you guys get the above first tier benefit of everything that we do over at Dirtbag Nation. All the support mainly comes from you guys supporting us over here at Dirtbag Nation. And Grandmasters, I can't thank you enough, but for $25 a month, you get one-on-one coaching and anything you want to see live on the tabletop. So you get to see a professional play right in front of you. You guys get to kind of like see it one-on-one, and I'm actually making this specifically for you. There's also TTS events that you guys can suggest. If you guys want to do a first 1 or 2 turn run through on TTS, we can actually log in and coach you one-on-one with that. If you guys see us at any GTs, you guys get special benefits, free dice, stuff like that. Anytime you purchase a merch thing on Discord, you guys get a free limited edition Dirtbag dice sent to you with every single purchase on top of that. So there's a lot of benefits coming up with the Grandmaster Dirtbag. Guys, I can't thank you enough for supporting us. Definitely let me know which tier would be best for you if you go over to patreon.com and specifically go to a tier. And make sure you don't forget to message me up on Discord. That's where we check every single day. If you guys are really into getting into 10th edition 40k, head over to Patreon, join the competitive Dirtbag or the Grandmaster. Message me as many times as you possibly want, and I'll coach you the best I possibly can on any specific army that you guys play. mainly our armies right now, currently, going into 2024 is going to be Chaos Space Marines, Grey Knights, Death Guard, and then we have Custodes, Sisters, and I think that's it going into the Wings of 2024. But again, any other army that you guys play, we have other coaches lined up for the Dirtbags that are ready to take on that role of the competitive Dirtbag page. So guys, really appreciate it. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for joining the Dirtbag Nation if you guys are already part of us. And we'll see you in another video soon.